This is your cosmic weather report for the week of March 7th through March 13th.
Hi, I'm Heather, and I'm going to start with astrology.
And I'm Cody, and when she's done, I'm going to dive into the human design and gene keys.
So as every week, let's dive right in, guys. Hello, sensitivity. So March 7th through March 13th in the stars, we're really focused on a lot of sensitivity. This week, while we're feeling sensitive, it is the perfect time to put old conflicts in the past, reconciliation, and mending old wounds. Oh, everybody's favorite stuff to dive into, isn't it?
Yes. Or the things that we all run away from, terrified, screaming.
Yes. And this is really a week to examine these things and to try to not run away from them.
Sit with them.
Because the stars align to help us with energy, to help us examine these, push through blocks, and heal things. And when we run away in fear, often the stars will also go, boop, there you go. It's here anyway.
I'm going to put it in your face.
So
you're going to have to face it.
Yeah. And when we,
I did want to say, I did a whole podcast on allow, accept, embrace on my podcast, The Cody Lee Show. So if you want to catch that, it'll give you some tips and tricks on how to actually sit with these feelings. I also have a video on my YouTube channel on The Cody Lee, and it is all about sitting with your emotions. So 2 little, kind of tools to help you along the way.
And you'll need those because where there is light, there's always shadow. And this week is a big one where we're seeing a lot of light and a lot of shadow.
Oh, those shadows.
Because we'll also be feeling dominant and confident. And our theme on
confidence. That's our theme this month on all of our topics here. And also in the membership, the Live Empowered membership.
Which is amazing.
I love it.
So while you're feeling dominant and confident, these can be really awesome traits, right? Because they help us show up as who we are in the world. And they help us conquer things and get through things and deal with things.
Make it happen.
But there can be a shadow to that.
Yeah.
Because this week we are really open to everything. So we have a lot of our chakras are totally open centers, okay? So we need to be conscious of where we may be being too dominant, okay?
Bulldozing?
I must have control!
Or bulldozing anyone? Bull in a china closet? Anyone?
Right? You may be this week, if you're working on team projects, you may inadvertently be railroading your teammates. Okay? So it's a reminder to check in and say, am I really working as a team with my family, with my friends, with my colleagues, or am I really pushing my own agenda because I'm afraid to give this control over to someone else because they're not going to do it right?
They're not going to do it
my
the way
way
I want it to be done.
And that's that shadow in the dominance and confidence realm. When you're overly confident in an area, that can be really, really great. Then there's also a shadow to it. We can start to not listen to other people's opinions, other people's advice, and we can become, as I teach my kids in school, don't be a know-it-all. Always be open. So with these open
I don't know what you're
centers,
talking about.
You don't know it all? No?
I'm not a know-it-all.
Flick your hair one more time. Give it a good herbal essence flip. There you go.
Herbal essence. That's more
I guess
like,
it's an outdated thing, though. They don't even have
though.
those commercials. Is it? Oh, it's like...
Yeah, because they like...
Oh,
yeah, I guess they do kind of do the whole...
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Anyway,
all right. Sidetracked.
So...
Squirrel!
So with our open centers, we also need to watch our addictions toward pleasure and self-indulgence. It is great to go have a cookie and to treat yourself. If we're sitting down with a whole package of Oreos and shoving them in our face as fast as we can like a squirrel, we might need to take a break, okay? Addictions can also show up as things like overly working out. Are you pushing your body too hard to achieve some goal that you think you must have? There's that dominance and confidence again. Are you going out and you shouldn't be drinking because you got to work at, 6 a.m. the next morning and you're like, oh, I got it. There's that overly confident, right? Because that open center is saying, okay, we're open to everything. So instead, realize that it's okay to relax and rest and watch what that looks like for your soul. Watch what everything that you're doing this week looks like for your soul. Because when we're in this open center, it can be great because then we can really invite in, what does my heart need? What does my communication, my throat chakra need? What does my crown chakra need? How can I connect more in my spirituality? How can I root deeper into my family, into my life? There's those nice invitations, as Cody would say, like having tea with your chakras.
I love that.
These different emotional centers
So
of
your
body.
assignment for this week is to go have some tea with your motherfucking chakras. Ooh.
I love you went, ooh. So watch your open centers and use them for your highest good, and really check that ego.
Check
Check her out. So what does Gene Keys have?
So Gene Keys, I'm really excited about this Gene Key actually because I have it in my chart. So if you don't know anything about human design or Gene Keys, please check out our previous videos. And also you could always go to genekeys.com and get your own profile and it'll tell you the Gene Keys that are in your chart. What this actually just really means is if you have a particular gene key, like the gene key that's coming up this week, which is gene key 22, then you're going to feel it maybe more acutely, kind of like when we are in Aquarius, and I'm an Aquarius, I feel more Aquarius. It really just is like, it just highlights it. But we have access to these gene keys. So even if you don't have this particular one, we're still feeling the transmission no matter what, because they're in all of our cells. All right, so this is gate 22, the gate of surrender. And Gene Key is 22, which moves from a state of dishonor to the highest expression of grace, and it is through the way of graciousness. So this is actually my pearl in my pearl sequence. So when you get your own profile, that'll make a little bit more sense, but it's kind of a core of who I am. And there's been several times where I've kind of tapped into like, what is my purpose? What am I here to bring? And oftentimes it comes to, you're here to bring grace. You're here to be grace and embodiment. And this Gene Key really helps me tap into what that is. And this gate of surrender being a place of releasing, letting go, trusting, that to me is an act of grace. That to me is an act of coming into gracious alignment with not only my inner self, but also my inner self that's connected with the divine. So just like she was talking about, like you're in this open state, you really need to move your attention. Instead of trying to be the one in control, allow yourself to come into an attitude of trust and surrender, which is super fun and not terrifying at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Scared.
So allow yourself to look at the places in your life where you're being lifted by life. So often I've worked with clients that feel like the universe is out to get them. Yeah. The universe is not out to get you. In fact, it's actually out for your highest good. And so see in your life how you are being lifted, even when you find yourself struggling. Because oftentimes there's like these little kind of flags, these little gems that are hanging out everywhere. And it's kind of like a video game, right? The little magical gem is like waiting for you to just go out and grab it. But in the video game, if you don't go over and like collect the gem, then you don't...
Ding, 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 like the coins.
Exactly. Then you don't get the reward. But it's there. It's still there for you. It just takes us slowing down, not being overly confident like she was talking about, and feeling like you have it all, when really there's so much support for you there that's being present. So grace is ultimately a state of being. It has less to do with your actions and more to do with your mental and emotional being. So the questions I have for you right now are you following your heart, your passion, your inner calling, your inner being, right? Are you moving from that inner being and from a place of kindness, from your inner faith, whatever that looks like? I know that word faith can be a little weird for people, but that faith is really about trusting and surrendering and being lifted by the universe, right? Are you allowing the universe to support you? Or are you saying, no, I got this, no, I got this, no, I got this, and then upset when there's no one there because you've been telling the universe, no, I got this? Yeah, I feel like I'm calling some of you out right now.
Yeah, you are. You totally are.
Love you. Love you. All right. Are you also trying to control and manipulate what you want, or shutting down your passion, or coveting your logic over your body, and denying your ultimate truth and your own inner authority? So these are some things I just really want you to kind of like ponder, contemplate, sit with. And I want to read a really beautiful quote from Richard Rudd, the creator of the Gene Keys. It says, "Graciousness isn't just politeness or courtesy, although it may contain both of these qualities. It's a whole cocktail of noble qualities. It's also very refined and also very subtle. It's an attitude carried in our aura, and it's rooted in a deep reverence for all of life." That is what I mean by grace is an embodiment. Grace is something that lives and breathes through the cells of your being. So how can you cultivate more surrender, trust, and grace in your life this week and come into a place of inner alignment where you're not dishonoring the truth, the passion, and the inner power of who you are?
It's beautiful. I love that quote.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I do.
Because
I love
often
that quote
people
too.
ask, like, what is grace?
What is it?
You know, what is it? And that's a perfect quote.
And I did, in my membership, Live Empowered. If you go to codylee.com, you can see where that membership is. I did a whole deep dive on grace. So I have a whole month's worth of journal prompts about grace. I have a quantum activation, which is kind of like a shamanic journey, inner meditative journey around grace. There's a meditation on grace. So you kind of get a whole gamut, both in that membership, but if you just want to do the deep dive in grace, you can just go to codylee.com and find that. But it really was a beautiful exploration of what does grace mean for me? What does grace mean for you? Because I think oftentimes, especially when it comes to religion or religion philosophy, grace has come with some interesting connotations based on our upbringing or where we come from in our practice, our spiritual practice, religious practice, whatever that is. So kind of understanding at a deeper level, what does the embodiment of grace ultimately mean, can be very different than an old definition that we got when we were a kid. So
Absolutely.
I invite you to explore that if you feel called. Yes. All right.
And do you love the weekly cosmic weather report like we do?
Do you love it? Do you just love it?
We love doing these.
We really, really do. And we love the deep dives that we do. So we just want to invite you, consider supporting the show and all that we do on these monthly deep dives and these monthly cosmic weather reports. And consider a monthly donation to help us sustain all of our future episodes.
You can do that at anchor.fm/sassysoulsisters/support.
And if you really loved this episode and you feel like you want to share it, please share it with your friends and let them know what's going on in the cosmic weather this week. And check out our weekly deep dive. The topic this week that's coming up Friday is building confidence in our children. I'm very excited about that one because we need to help build confidence in the little ones.
That's our next generation that's going to lead this planet.
Yes, we need to build them up. We need to help support them. I read a really beautiful quote on Facebook. I'm going to totally butcher the quote, so I'm not going to read it perfectly, just FYI. But it was basically, the premise was we need to stop trying to appease or please our parents, and we need to start building our life so that we make our children proud. Because it's like, yes, we can still make our parents proud, but how can we also make our children proud of us in that we're constantly growing and moving forward, looking to the next generation for our change, our growth, our transformation. Like, we're leaving this planet for them, so we want to help them live the most confident life they can.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, guys, we will see you later this week. Bye.
Bye.